Novatos, thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again. We're outside here, beautiful morning. So anyways, I wanted to just address a comment on my other video, something about, hey, what are the necessary procedures to take when a service shop decides to do a repair that's not authorized. All right, so this has happened to me before. It happened to me on a vehicle that I took in, and they did a spark plug job without my consent or without me authorizing it. So it's easy. Look, at the bottom of that estimate, when you drop off your vehicle, there's going to be a number. All right, if it's a warranty repair, that number is going to be 0 because the manufacturer pays for that repair. As a repair, as in an oil change or a 5K service, 10K service, you're going to see that number. It's going to be what it is, $500, $300. Some of the bigger issues working at the service shop that I've seen is when a wife or a family member drops off the vehicle, they don't see that number, they don't pay attention to it, and they just sign off on it. You might show up and request a oil change, and without you knowing or without your loved one knowing, they go ahead and sign off on a 5K, 10K service. So instead of that oil change being $60 or $40 or whatever they charge at your local dealership, when you go back to pick it up, that's when you see the bill. It's like $540. But then you're just kind of like, holy crap, who signed off on this? And then at the bottom of the estimate, they'll give you back that printout, and it's going to be you're going to get a copy of the estimate yourself too when you drop it off. It's going to have your information, it's going to have your vehicle information, your VIN number, miles, all this other stuff. Yeah, it's going to have all of that. And then there's going to be the work order, repair order, whatever they call it at your service shop. And then at the bottom somewhere on the right, you'll see the number. And then if it says $530, you pretty much authorize that repair, or your loved one authorized that repair. So you will be, you will have to pay that amount. But so let's say what happens if you drop off the vehicle and it's only an oil change, only paid $40, or it was a warranty repair and they went ahead and decided to do the repair without you authorizing the job. So that's when most of the time, 9 out of 10 times from what I've seen, the customer only pays the parts. All right, so what happens is, depending on what it is, depending on the job, it'll just cost the dealership or the repair shop more money to get that stuff out of your vehicle. So if they went ahead and did a transmission fluid change without your consent, without you authorizing it, then they won't just drain out your transmission and then put the old stuff back in there. They're not gonna do that. So most of the time, you'll probably cut a deal with the service shop, or you might, if you could, not pay it at all. But so what happened with me with the spark plugs, dropped off a vehicle, and they had like a good little sale, a good little deal for an oil change. It's like $24, and I just kind of figured, you know what, it's $19 or $22 for the oil at Walmart, and the filter itself is like $5. So if I paid somebody to do it for $24 instead of going to Walmart, picking up the materials, then you know what, it was just a overall great deal. So I went ahead, proceeded, dropped off the vehicle. They recommended spark plugs, and I said no, I don't want to do that. This is where, like I said, they're supposed to call you for additional services. That's why they have your number on file, so they could give you a call. All right. Anyways, when I went back to the shop, I came to find out that there was an additional like $130, and this is when I was kind of like, all right, what's this $130 for when it was just supposed to be $24.95? And that's when they told me, oh, we went ahead and changed the spark plugs. And I was kind of like, okay, nobody authorized that, nobody agreed to that. And that's where we started kind of getting into it. At the end, I agreed, just to kind of get out of there. It was already being a pain in the rear. We decided to just pay for the spark plugs. We agreed to just pay for the spark plugs. I ended up paying, I believe, maybe an extra $3 per spark plug at the service shop, because yes, they do have a a commission, a markup, stuff like that. Kind of like any shop or any dealership, they will have a markup on their parts. So I ended up just paying the spark plugs, got the spark plugs installed for free. And I mean, that's typically what happens. All right, usually you would just negotiate, and they'll still get a little bit money out of you, but it's not going to be the full amount, because like I said, they wanted to charge me $90 for just doing the spark plugs on a Civic, which the spark plugs are on top, and it's super easy. I mean, it shouldn't take you an hour to change 4 spark plugs. It's just unheard of. But I mean, this is the service shop. This is you know, it's a business, so they're going to charge you a flat rate of 1 hour for any additional stuff. And so that's what happened with me. All right, so that's what you guys can do. You guys can negotiate, and or just refuse to pay it, because it was never authorized. This is where you start calling bar, or whatever state you guys are living in. I believe it's 50 states. It's bar for every state. But yes, you would go ahead and call bar. You don't threaten them with calling the police. That just makes them laugh. Yeah, there's no threat. There's absolutely no threat from the police. We used to hear it all the time from customers, and we would just kind of be like, hey, yeah, go ahead, call the police, see what happens. Nothing happens. All right, you would have to file a complaint with BAR, the automotive repair. So yes, there's laws in place to prevent this type of repair ethics or whatever practices. Yes, there's laws in place for this. Because I mean, it just wouldn't be fair for you to drop off your vehicle for an oil change and then come back and pick it up, and for them to find out, or for you to find out that there's like a $3,000 repair on it, because they went ahead and decided to go ahead and like rebuild or overhaul the top end. It just wouldn't work like that. Can you imagine dropping off your vehicle for a $20 oil change and then coming back and having to pay $3,000, $4,000? Yeah, it just wouldn't work. All right, that's why we have these laws in place, where they would have to call you before they went ahead and did any repairs to your vehicle. It just wouldn't work like that. It just wouldn't be fair. And sometimes you might find a few repairs. Sometimes these service shops, these dealers, kind of like what happened to me with my Harley. I went ahead and dropped off my Harley for a 1K service. And when I came back to pick it up, there was an extra additional $5. They went ahead and they replaced one of the gaskets. So I mean, for that, I mean, yes, I did not authorize that gasket, and I guess I could have, you know, fought those $5. But you know what? I just kind of figured, you know what, $5 is $5. I mean, I'm already paying. I believe I was already paying like $500 for the 1K service, and I just said, you know what? All right, what's another $5? I might as well just pay it. The mechanic just went ahead and replaced it. So like I said, I could have fought that, and they would have just waived it. Honestly, I mean, it's only $5. The dealer would have just been, all right, big deal, you can have it. Just to avoid the hassle and avoid losing a customer. Most of the times you will find yourself just getting that stuff. I mean, if you make a big fuss about it, you will find yourself getting that stuff for free. So like I said, the small stuff, I guess, I mean, they're not supposed to, but you might see a few minor charges. But I mean, how it's supposed to go, or legally how it should work, you drop your vehicle, you sign off on an estimate. If it's 0 or 1 hour or whatever, any additional repair on top of that, like brakes, brake service, forks, whatever it is, tires, they will give you a call to recommend it, because they already have the vehicle on the lift. All right, the vehicle's already on the lift. They're going to call you, hey, we found this, and this. Would you like to repair it, or or just finish the service, whatever you have it in there for, finish it off, and then return the vehicle. So you would just either authorize the repair, or kind of like what Shade Tree Surgeon said or did with his Ducati, you could take that to a different mechanic to get a second opinion. All right, so keep in mind that when you take it to another mechanic, they would have to perform another 1 hour test, diagnose, whatever the service shop has to do. They would have to perform their own checkup. All right, you can't just take it to a different shop and tell them, you know what, this is what they found at this other location, how much you're going to charge me to get this fixed. They have to check it themselves. So you would have to pay that extra 1 hour checkup hour rate or whatever. So you would have to pay that. So luckily for Shade Tree Surgeon, he had a mechanic that was very reliable, trustworthy, and he found out that, you know what, it's not what the certified Ducati mechanic found on, or whatever he proclaimed it should have been, because I mean, it was a huge repair. So yes, you run the risk of losing 100 or whatever 1 hour labor rate because you're taking it to a different shop, but who knows, this other shop might find something else. So in a sense, that those $100 that Shade Tree could have potentially paid, it ended up working out for him, because he got the right opinion, or the right problem figured out, because it wasn't even what the certified Ducati mechanic thought it was supposed to be. It was yeah. So anyways, I already made a video on that incident if you guys want to check that out. Is there anything else that I want to... You know what? I think that's pretty much it. As far as extended warranties and extended service plans, those things work differently. You will be estimated 1 hour, and once your extended warranty kicks in, and if it falls within whatever category it is, platinum, gold, bronze, whatever you have, if it's electrical or drivetrain or whatever, once they determine the issue or the problem, that's when they'll look at your extended warranty and see if it's covered, or they'll give you your extended warranty a call. So they'll either call them or just figure it out. I'm pretty sure whatever service plan, or if you have a manufacturer, that's pretty much the best one. The OEM extended service plan, that's the best one for you to have for your vehicle. It's really straightforward. There isn't any hussing or fussing or waiting for a payment or waiting for a check or anything like that. It's pretty much paid through by the manufacturer. So that's why I believe that's the best one that you can get. So yeah, as long as your warranty is not voided, if you don't have any aftermarket parts, or if that aftermarket part is like a cam or something like that is the reason why you're having issues, then of course that's not going to be covered under extended warranty. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the extended warranty too much. This is just a reply or a comment. I kind of figured, you know what, this might be a pretty good video to kind of help you guys out in case you're thinking about going to service shop or something like that. You guys could just know how to protect yourself against these scams and these practices or whatever. All right, you guys just stay out there, stay safe. Don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.